sadness of the face, the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning and lamenting, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Always having a good time. There's Andre. Brother Andre. On my phone. Brother Andre, are you there?
You calling there?
Hello?
I'm trying to pitch in. I just can't do it.
I've got your voice. I have no picture, but that's fine.
I'm trying to pitch in, and I realize I guess I don't have my address or something. I watch it all the time, but it must have been Mary Pierce from the love she's called.
Oh, okay. So, Michelle, do you have a web address that Andre can tune into? It's on Facebook, is it?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook under what? Michelle McIntyre? Look under Michelle McIntyre.
I've been looking on Facebook for the last 20 minutes.
All right, capital M, small c, capital INTYRE.
Capital M and what?
Capital M, small c, capital I, lowercase NTYRE. YRE.
Capital M, small c, capital I.
Yes. And then NTYRE are in lowercase. N is in.
I got it.
Okay, there you go.
We're looking for McIntyre. It gives me tons of Michelle McIntyre. Oh my.
You might have to send a friend request before he can get on her page.
Yeah. If you're on Facebook, maybe Michelle can send you a friend request. Are you on under Andre Elliott? Okay. You want to send Andre a friend request? Or can you? Actually, I don't think she can because she's using her iPhone to send the signal out to this meeting.
You can watch it for real.
Yeah. Barbara could send it to you.
Andre Elliott.
I tell you what, here,
Okay.
you can get on mine
Yeah, tell them to get right on there.
and mine's playing.
It's on her page right now.
Tell him to get on mine.
All right.
Sure.
I just tagged him on it too.
It goes to, just to share. Share, it doesn't ask me other people.
So,
See, the other, YouTube, I could do it where it was other people. This doesn't give me other people.
okay.
So tell him to just go to me.
Yeah. Can you find Barbara on Facebook? She's sending it.
I need to get my glasses.
If you can find Barbara on Facebook, then she's actually sending the feed out as well.
Hey, bro.
All right.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue on. We're reading in chapter 7 of Ecclesiastes. All right. So in verse 3, it said that sorrow is better than laughter. Why? Because by the sadness of the countenance of the face, the heart is made better. Verse 4, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. If you're wise, you're going to be mourning because of the wisdom that you have. You remember what the preacher said at the beginning of his writing here in the first chapter, I think it is. He said, if you have much wisdom, you also have much sorrow. But verse 4 says, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, of laughter. Verse 5, it is better to hear the rebuke from the wise than it is for a man to hear the song of fools. I might add the never-ending song of fools. or like the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. And this is also vanity. It is pointless. Verse 7, surely oppression makes a wise man mad or crazy, and a gift destroys the heart, or a bribe destroys the heart. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning of it. And the one who is patient in spirit is better than the one who is proud in spirit. Verse 9, do not be hasty in your spirit to be angry. Why? Because anger rests in the bosom of fools. Do not say, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? Because you do not inquire wisely concerning this. Verse 11, wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to those that see the sun. Why? Verse 12, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to those that have it. Verse 13, consider the work of our Elohim, for who can make that straight which he has made crooked? Verse 14, in the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider this, our Elohim has also set the one over against the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. Verse 15, all things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man that perishes in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man that prolongs his life in his wickedness. Verse 16, be not righteous over much, neither make yourself overly wise. Why should you destroy yourself? 17, be not over much wicked, neither be foolish. Why should you die before your time? Verse 18, it is good that you should take hold of this. Yes, also from this do not withdraw your hand. For he who fears our Elohim shall come forth from them all. Verse 19, wisdom strengthens the wise more than 10 mighty men that are in the city. For there is not a just man upon the earth that does good and does not sin. Verse 21, also take no heed, pay no attention to all words that are spoken, lest you hear your servant curse you. Verse 22, for oftentimes also your own heart knows that you yourself have likewise cursed others. Verse 23, all this have I proved by wisdom. And I said, I will be wise, but it was far from me. 24, that which is far off and exceedingly deep, who can find it out? Well, I applied my heart to know, and to search, and to seek out wisdom, and the reason of things, or the reason for things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even the wickedness of foolishness and madness. And I find, verse 26, more bitter than death, the woman, whose heart is all snares and nets, and her hands are like bands. Whoever pleases our Elohim is going to escape from her, but the sinner is going to be taken captive by her. Understand, verse 27, this have I found, said the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeks, but I do not find. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman amongst all those have I not found. Look, this only have I found, that our Elohim has made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Now, verse 29 is that word inventions. That is contrivances, a mental contrivance, a plan of something. But they have sought out many inventions, many contrivances that come from their hearts, and their minds,
Schemes.
their imaginations. Yeah, schemes.
found one man among 1,000. Have I found, but a woman among all this, I found not. I'm not found. That's pretty, strong right there.
He's really against the women. Isn't he?
You go back to verse 20, for there is not a just man upon the earth that doeth good and sinneth not. So how's he gonna find one in 1,000?
Evidently, he put a great deal of time and effort in this.
And out of that same 1,000, I guess it has to be a different 1,000. You could not find one more.
If that man that the woman is taken by the woman, he must be a sinner. It says here, but the sinner shall be taken by her. So
Right,
he must
well, I
be a
don't know
sinner.
I don't know anyone who isn't a sinner.
You're right, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I found 16, verse 16 kind of odd. It says, be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldn't thou
Why should you destroy
destroy
yourself?
thyself? What, I don't understand.
Don't be overly righteous. Don't be overly wise. Don't make yourself become overly wise or overly righteous in your endeavors to be righteous or to be wise, because in doing so, you will destroy yourself. Why? Because you're going to see that the world is just unrighteous all around you and you just don't fit in anywhere.
What I think he's saying here is don't put yourself in a place of responsibility. Over wise,
A lot, like Moses.
or over righteous. Because you're just destroying yourself.
Exactly, because you have
You're
too
making-
much on your plate.
You're making yourself much more,
Make yourself sick doing so.
that's what I see there.
Don't be
Well,
overly.
it's like Jethro told Moses that he was gonna burn himself up, but he was taking on the whole duty, so he told him to divide up the duties.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between Moshe being put in that position of authority, but his power was from Yahweh, and he'd be the first one to tell you that.
Now, isn't there a scripture that says our righteousness is filthy rags
Yes,
to him?
all our righteousness is like filthy rags. Actually, the connotation there for filthy is more like menstrual rags. That's how filthy. It's that. All our righteousness is in comparison, and yet Yahshua said, you've got to exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees in order to get into the kingdom.
Right.
Yeah, one thing it doesn't say is, it doesn't say, stop being righteous. That's
No,
one
no.
thing that's definitely not what's being said.
No, it's not saying that.
No.
It's just saying, don't take authority, because you take authority, you are going to be required more. You know,
Yeah.
the scripture says that